Story 1. When I showed my family a picture, and after staring for about 30 seconds, one of my cousins said, "She suits you." Then everyone laughed. Edit typo. Story 2. A couple of my friends were telling me about how another friend called my ex unattractive behind my back, but then reassured me that she was average looking. Story 3. This is the opposite, but I was once at a party with a girl I just started talking to, and this other girl came up and tried rescuing her. When she explained that she was with me, the girl then told me that I better not harm her or anything because my girl is a goddess. Apparently, I'm so unattractive, I must be threatening. Story 4. One of the meanest things I've ever had said to me. We were out one night, just having dinner and walking around downtown, and some rude person drove by us and yelled, "Hey dude, you're supposed to bring your girlfriend out, not your mom." But I don't know what he's even talking about because she was, and still is, so pretty, and she looked amazing that night in particular. Plus, I take my mom to dinner anyway. So, forget you, guy. Story 5. When one of my best friends said, "Yeah, but you have a bad taste in women anyways," while standing right in front of my current girlfriend, sucks. Since this is my most upvoted comment ever, I'd like to add some things. Yes, I am still friends with him. Guys, keep in mind that this was one single moment taken out of context. In my opinion, a true friendship should be able to take something like that. Granted, it was the most idiotic time and place to say something like that, but sometimes your brain and social awareness just have a blackout. Blurting out inappropriate things happens to me all the time. So yeah, bad idea, but I think in order to properly judge the situation, you guys would have needed to be there. This leads me to the next point. Dear internet mob, please put away your pitchforks and torches. There will be no lynching today. I have not and will not beat him up or punch him for saying what he thinks, however inappropriate the timing was. If he doesn't find her attractive, so what? All the better for me. I rarely find his girlfriends or casual partners attractive either, and I certainly let him know that. If you feel like you need to resort to violence because of something like that, feel free to do it, but I like to talk to my friends before beating them up. So in short, lynch mob. Back to your hiding places. There is nothing to see here. Story 6. My first real girlfriend was when I was about 14. They made fun of her when I brought her to the lake where all the kids were going back then, just because she had a small, unusual piece of skin on her neck. I don't know what it's called. Obviously, they were not real friends and I distanced myself from them. She still broke up with me because it hurt her so much. Story 7. This thread makes me nervous about what the friends of people I have dated think of me. I know I am not attractive, but I really want to know what they have said. Story 8. I would show a picture of her to friends and colleagues, and they would always say, "Oh, she's so." I would cheerfully try to help by contributing. Beautiful, successful, confident, fat. Story 9. I dated a guy in college who I knew wasn't conventionally attractive, but I figured that I wasn't attractive either, so what's the big deal? People weren't shy about letting me know they didn't approve. I think it's great that you see people for their heart. In the department where I was a university student, the whole office would gossip about waiting for us to break up, so they could set me up with another student they deemed more worthy. This would be super mean if it was just about appearances, but my ex also wasn't a very nice person. Still mean, but not based solely on looks. The moment it actually hit me was when I visited him in his dorm for the first time, and all the students around were laughing and saying, "His hot girlfriend is real. Did you bribe her to come here?" Story 10. I've had the good fortune of being with some very attractive people, and my family, especially my mom, would comment on the matter. Not persistently, though. Usually just once when they first meet or see them. But with one particular ex, after meeting her for the first time, my mom asked me, "So, you're really attracted to her, huh?" It made for a stark contrast to my first girlfriend, for example, who got comments like, "She's gorgeous." I was rather taken aback at the time. Of course, I found her attractive, and the incredulity with which my mom asked stung. However, that ex turned out to be abusive. It took over a year for the relationship to end, and she still found ways to abuse me after it ended. Now, I can't fathom how I was attracted to her in the first place. Perhaps my mom saw something I couldn't. Story 11. When I finally introduced him to my friends, a few of them said, "Really? You couldn't find anyone taller or better looking?" It broke my heart. He's my height, perfect kissing level, and I think he's the most beautiful guy on planet Earth. It didn't break my heart that my friends didn't approve. Forget them. It broke my heart that, without knowing him, they can be so mean. He's a sweetheart and has done everything for me, and he's extremely attractive to me. Edit. I just realized I answered this question on an Ask Men subreddit. Not a man, sorry, but every story counts. Story 12. My ex was on a television show once. A lot of people on Twitter were horrible about her appearance, and a few were creepy about her appearance. She did not enjoy either of these responses. These were random people on the internet, but some of the comments seemed completely unnecessary and unwarranted. Be nice, people. You never know what effect your words will have. Story 13. When my friend told me she was unattractive, she was and still is the most intelligent woman I ever met. It sounds weird, but the depth of conversation I could have with her and the insights she provided made me feel very stupid sometimes. I was in awe of her and therefore liked being around her. She was also generous and kind to all she met. She had her anxieties, though, which I helped her with. I miss her sometimes, but alas, it was not meant to be. Story 14. My best friend asked me directly if I had failed to find someone better looking when I confided in him that I was planning on proposing. I regret that, in the moment after he asked, I didn't manage to think of something smart to say in her defense. I mumbled something about how there was more to a person than looks. I guess I was shocked. He had always seemed supportive of our relationship, and it hurt to finally know that he actually thought she was too ugly for me to marry. I had planned on him being the best man. Those plans died that night. Ugly girl and I have been married for 3 months now, and I love her more than ever. Story 15. Every girl I have ever dated was considered unattractive by someone. And every girl I have ever dated was considered extremely attractive by myself and several others. As the saying goes, you can be the sweetest peach on earth, but some people just don't like peaches. It sounds cliché, but you really can't go into the headspace of obsessing over what is attractive to people not in the relationship. It's best to assume that you and anyone you date won't be universally appealing. Focus on whether you are attracted to your significant other and being attractive to your significant other. And it's worth remembering that every person has traditionally gorgeous days and ugly days. No one is perfect 100% of the time, unless my wife is reading this, in which case you are always gorgeous. Story 16. I'm a white woman in a relationship with an Asian guy, and my attraction to him seems to baffle many. In addition to us being interracial, he's my height, maybe slightly shorter, and has longer hair than I do, and mine's chest length. I see the gears turning in people's heads pretty much any time we're together, since I guess a lot of his physical characteristics would be considered niche or unconventionally attractive at the least by many. People seem to handle just being shorter okay, or just being Asian okay, or just having long hair okay, but they seem to find my attraction to all three things at once incomprehensible. It irritates me, no doubt, primarily the questions and comments I get to hear regarding his ethnicity, but he is stupidly attractive to me. We're both rock climbers, and this man is fit. I know how lucky I am. Story 17. I had the opposite experience. My first girlfriend of 5 years was usually considered a lot more attractive than me. She used to bring up nasty things her friends said about me and my appearance whenever we argued, and generally brought my confidence right down. By the end of it, I was a bit of a wreck and literally couldn't even hold a normal conversation with another female without acting like a nervous wreck. It's been about 8 months since we broke up, and since then I've spent a lot of time taking good care of myself. Really hitting the gym, buying better clothes, and working on the social side of my life. For the past half a year or so, I've been getting loads of compliments, and a fair few people have told me I'm attractive, but I still find it hard to believe. Here's to the next 8 months of self-improvement. Story 18. I was leaning against a car making out with my girlfriend in the high school parking lot at night, when a police officer hit us with his spotlight and said, "Hey, you two boys, come over here." Story 19. I am a woman, but my ex-husband looked like an old shoe. Our son ended up looking like a Greek god, though, so I guess there were good genes in there somewhere. Story 20. I was a medic and was secretly dating one of the emergency medical technicians. One night she gave me and my partner some cookies, and after she left my partner said, "She's super nice, but it looks like someone lit her face on fire and stomped it out with golf shoes." She had a bit of an acne problem at the time. Story 21. I got double tapped. I was seeing a girl, and every time we went out together, we would get the same comment. That we were an unexpectedly cute couple. That may not always be an insult, but it was the tone they used to say it. Also, when I realized, people thought I was unattractive. Story 22. As soon as I met him, the first time I saw him he had pink hair down to his shoulders wearing a Bob's Burgers Louise hat. The pink bunny ears. He had a comic book sweatshirt on, neon orange shorts, Batman socks that had capes on them, and the most ridiculous footwear on, finger shoes. My initial thought was, what an interesting man. We worked together occasionally, and he asked if we could be Facebook friends. It took a while, but eventually we found each other online, and then the next day he sends me a muffin recipe over Messenger and just stated, "They're really good. Thought you might like them." I was so confused by the emotions that this brought me. I kind of wanted to laugh because a muffin recipe isn't your usual icebreaker. But I thought it was sweet that he wanted to share something with me that he thought I'd enjoy, and it was just different than your typical, "What's up?" or "You doing anything this weekend?" We went on a date, and after that date, he told his friend he was going to marry me, and he was right. We've been together 3 years, married too. I fell in love with my husband's sweet nature, his thoughtfulness, his personality, and his heart. He became cuter every day I spent with him, and I learned more about him. Once you get to know my husband, you can't help but love him, and I think he is pretty adorable. Story 23. Someone considers everyone unattractive. The only time that stands out was when a coworker called my girlfriend at the time Skeletor. I called him a fat fool and said diabetes would take him before he hit 30. I still have a few years before I'm wrong. Story 24. When I was in high school, I received a message on AOL Instant Messenger from an unknown screen name. They said they were a girl from a nearby high school and that they knew me through mutual friends. This was a year before Facebook, by the way. So we started chatting, and she sent me a picture of two girls next to each other. One was very attractive and the other was very average. She wanted to know what I thought of her, and without thinking, I said, "I hope you're the one on the right." Oops, I got trapped. She didn't acknowledge it but asked for a picture of me. So I sent a flattering picture. She said, "You're lucky you're muscular because otherwise you're not very attractive." I got caught. She blocked me if I remember correctly. I always wondered about that sequence of events and how we connected. Story 25. Reading through the comments here has me feeling kind of disgusted. It's so messed up that some people will go out of their way to try and destroy the relationships of people who call them friends, especially over superficial things like someone's looks. Story 26. I've had a few friends in my life who always went after what I think of as cookie-cutter women, like women I wouldn't be able to pick out in a crowd or something. I'm more attracted to women who look a bit unusual in their eyes and who have a combination of things that attract me that aren't really evident to them. Also, a lot of times, the women I like are bigger, and I've always been attracted to older women. Well, at my age now, they aren't really older anymore, just middle-aged and up. Once a friend superficially compared two women I dated, and I let him know that I really cared about the woman I was dating at the time, and he apologized. Story 27. My friends thought my boyfriend at the time was unattractive because he is a redhead and he has a big nose. I thought he was really handsome. I was very much in love with him. Story 28. As soon as I started dating my girlfriend, my sister and my friends gave me a hard time for it. I'm considered attractive by others, but I guess others cannot see the beauty that I see in my girlfriend. Even my girlfriend is insecure when she sees pictures of my exes. However, I wouldn't trade her for any of them. She's been through hell. Her dad died from cancer when she was 6, lived with a physically abusive mom until 18, survived 3 cancer treatments, got stabbed during a robbery, and was beaten up by her sister's boyfriend. She has more character than most of those people combined. She has more appreciation for life. She's also one of the most humble and kindest individuals I have ever met. I call her my diamond in the dirt because only I can see how awesome of a person she is. Edit. After some feedback, this post is starting to make me cringe. I'm going to try to explain some stuff, and I hope I don't just mess things up worse. My girlfriend is beautiful, and I find her very attractive. She does have tattoos, which puts my super conservative family off. Also, she has a very colorful past, which my friends know about. Her past doesn't bother me, and I love her tattoos. But I've been questioned about why I'm dating her. Now, for the diamond in the rough comment. Yes, I am that obtuse. But she actually likes it, and I'll explain why. As mentioned earlier, my girlfriend has a colorful past. I'm not going to go into it, but let's just say a lot of guys avoid her because of it. Her words, not mine. Her past didn't faze me, and as a result, I ended up dating one of the most amazing girls ever. That's why I call her my diamond in the rough. Because of her past, she gets overlooked a lot. But if people would look beyond her past, they'd discover one of the kindest and most interesting people alive. For all the posters who took the time to reply, thank you. Your comments were very valuable.